I'm thinking about hosting a Scottish readathon in November. If anyone would be up for that, either to take part or even if you want to join me as a co-host. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and I love to talk about books. And today it's a special video because as of this going live, tomorrow will be my 2-year anniversary or my second birthday on Booktube. So I thought I would do a little tag to celebrate and just look back on my past year. I'm trying to do this really quickly. I've got plumbers in and they've just gone on their lunch break, so I'm trying to film this before they come back. So I haven't picked up any books that I'm going to talk about or anything. Everything's just going to be an image on the screen because I just want to get this done without them thinking that I am a total weirdo talking to myself in my bedroom. Yeah, and everything's covered in dust because of getting things ripped out and plaster and everything, so excuse if my bookshelves and everything look a bit grotty, but you find me where I am when you come to my booktube. So for this, I just searched for an anniversary tag. I found a video by Gloria Z. Thompson, who had merged, I think, a couple of different tags together. So I'll link her video in the description box below, and I'll also add the questions if you feel like doing this tag yourself. So question number 1 is, how many years on Booktube are you celebrating? And I've kind of already spoiled my answer for that, but yeah, it's 2 years, or it will be the day after this video goes live. And as a lovely birthday present, this week I finally hit 300 subscribers. So I think I do retain my title of the world's slowest growing channel, but I also think I have some of the best subscribers out there. Those who have stuck with me when I dropped off the face of Booktube at the end of last year, those who comment regularly and with such thoughtful and interesting comments, and some who have been with me for almost as long as I have been making these stupid little videos of mine. So to anyone who has subscribed, whether you're an OG or a newbie, thank you so much. Without you guys, I'd just be talking to myself. So thanks for taking a chance on me and hitting that subscribe button. Question number 2 is, how have you changed from your first video till now? Let me count the ways. So in my first year, I think I went from being super awkward in front of the camera to getting more relaxed and just chatting to it like I'm talking to a person. I think that made a huge difference. And then in this second year, I've been trying to make the contents of my videos a bit more watchable. Like, I try not to ramble too much or too long about each book in my wrap-ups. Trying the operative word. And this year I also tried to go from 1 video a week to 2, because I really enjoy making my Shelf Indulgence videos, which are my midweek chats about what I've been reading, what I've been watching or listening to. They have been a bit harder to get back into the rhythm of since I came back to my channel at the start of this year. So that's a work in progress. So more content, more watchable content, I think, has been the change in year 2. Question number 3 is, what are your 3 favourite videos that you've made in the past year and why? 3, I don't really have any standouts. Like, my whole videos always do really well, but I think that's probably the same for every channel regardless of their size. But one in particular has been my first, only so far, video to get over 1k views, 1,000 views. So that is really awesome. I'm also really proud of my returning to Booktube videos, simply because it took a lot to do it. I'd stopped making videos because my mental health was just so bad, to the point where I couldn't stand to look at myself. So it was really hard to get back in front of the camera. My mental health is still really not good. I've actually been off work for a couple of months now with it, but since coming back, making videos has actually helped me. It's given me something to focus on, and something that not only do I enjoy, but I also think that I do, you know, passively well, which is really helpful when all around me I just feel like I'm failing at so many other things. Each video is a project I see through from start to finish, which is something that I can't really say for a lot of other things. It's something that I'm struggling with in other areas of my life. So to do that with these videos does give me a sense of achievement. Oh, it was meant to be 3 videos. So I guess the Shelf Indulgence video I did when I was a bit tipsy. I think it's just impressive that I managed to string a sentence together, but also that I was comfortable enough to upload even like the less than professional, not that any of my videos are professional, but I could just have a bit of a laugh and put it up there and just find joy in that. Number 4 is, what is your most popular video? So I kind of already mentioned this, but by far and away my most popular is my secondhand book haul, easy for me to say, my secondhand book haul from May last year. It's got 1,120 views so far, and it's still climbing because according to my analytics, in like the past 48 hours, it's still got 44 views. And it's nearly a year old. I mean, I've got no idea why that's happening, but it is a nice ego boost. And hopefully, you know, some of those views will convert into subscribers who will watch other videos that I make. Question number 5 is, what have you struggled with on Booktube in the past year, and how did you overcome that struggle? Or what's the hardest thing about creating videos for YouTube? And for me, like, I love it, but Booktube is hard. I don't have loads of content ideas like some booktubers do. Like, some are so creative. I'm not that person. So sometimes I'm literally thinking like, shit, I need to film today, and I got nothing. And I also don't really have a lot of time to film. Editing, although it's really time consuming, it's easier to fit in, as long as I like film a couple of days in advance, I can spread the editing part out. But actually making myself presentable, thinking about what I'm going to say, and then actually sitting down to film it is the biggest challenge. I need at least an hour free all in one go to do that. And last year I did try batch filming, and I do keep meaning to like return to that because it does cut down the prep time. But geez, you need stamina to film multiple videos in a row, and I don't have stamina just now. Question number 6 is, have you had to deal with any negative feedback or comments, and how did you handle it? Perks of being a really small channel, I haven't really had much of that. I have had the occasional thumbs down on videos, but the way I see it, if someone's too much of a coward to leave a comment and tell you why they don't like your video, then I don't really think their opinion counts for much. You know, if you hate it that much, just go and watch something else. But if someone like genuinely isn't enjoying like something I do, or thinks there's something that I could improve on, then I'm totally open to constructive comments. I don't see that as negative per se. I've had a couple of like the racist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic comments, but I'm not here for bigotry, so I usually just delete them or give them like a virtual scalp. If someone disagrees with my opinion on a book, I don't see that as negative because I love hearing different perspectives. If you hate a book I love, then let's have a chat about it. But if you just want to use my comment section to spew hate, then you can fuck off. Number 7 is, shout out a huge supporter of your channel. And I'm very lucky that I do have some great supporters. Scott and Nelle over at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot have said just the nicest, most confidence boosting things about my channel. And I know they've driven many subscribers my way, and I'll always be so grateful to them for that support. They're real champions of fellow booktubers, and it feels really validating to be like lifted up by them, because they're so good at what they do themselves, and they watch so many booktubers that it really means something when they name check you. And I also have to mention, you know, Amy from Booktube and Amy from Booktube with Amy, and Ange from Ange's Book Chatter are wonderful women. They don't just support my channel, they're also patiently extending friendship to a hopeless, infuriating, never replies to messages mess like me. And also, you know, love goes to Emily at Novelle Novels and Margaret Pinard at Margaret Pinard, who are fabulous commenters and supporters. You know, I'll link all those channels in the description box below, and there are others that I haven't mentioned, but this has turned into like one of those embarrassing Oscar acceptance speeches right now, and I know if I tried to name everyone I would still forget someone, so thank you all for supporting my channel. Number 8 is, what's the best book you've read in this past year? So since my last anniversary, so March 2021, you know me, there ain't gonna be just one. So Louise Kennedy's short story collection, The End of the World is a Cul-de-sac, I thought was fantastic. The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver, forgot her name there. That was one of my favourite reads of 2021. Tish Delaney's Before My Actual Heart Breaks was a book that really touched me this year, as was Hanya Yanagihara's A Little Life. Then I really loved some books that I read for, well, I was planning to read them anyway, but I read them for the Booktube Prize. Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stewart, Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. And then this year I've really loved Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. That's probably been a standout for this year. These are all novels. Let's think of some non-fiction. Maggie and Me by Damien Barr I read this year, and that's a really great memoir. And then again, back to the Booktube Prize, I read The Address Book by Deirdre Mask, which was a total surprise of how interesting and how much I enjoyed that book. So definitely these are picks that are, you know, partly influenced by Booktube, whether that be other booktubers or the Booktube Prize, or books that I've read as NetGalleys, which I don't know. Well, no, I was a NetGalley member before I was a booktuber, but probably I read more NetGalleys than I would have if I wasn't, you know, looking for new books to talk about. So there's a lot of influence of my time in Booktube, and it's obviously really enriched my reading. Question number 9 is, where do you see your channel in a year's time, and what do you hope to have achieved? So yeah, I have been thinking about this. Numbers wise, I'd like to get to like over 500 subs in the coming year. You know, it just sounds like a nice number. I'm not too worried about that. What I want to focus on is being a better channel to be subscribed to in the first place. So I know I need to get my act together in replying to comments. Seriously, I get the best, most thoughtful, interesting responses to my videos, and I am shit at responding. Please don't take that personally if that, you know, if I haven't replied to one of your comments. I'm just rubbish at replying to people in general. My friends slag me off because I'm forever leaving people on unread, or I'll read their messages and forget to respond, or I'll only respond in my head. I don't know what my struggle is. It's a lifelong struggle. I think part of it is the mental exertion of doing it and keeping up that conversation, and a lot of it has to do with my shyness or my awkwardness or where I am in my headspace. I'm a much better communicator face to face, but I know that shouldn't be an excuse for not trying, especially when you know, there is no face to face. This is Booktube. I'd also like to get back to doing those 2 videos a week regularly, like I said. I also have some plans. I'm thinking about hosting a Scottish readathon in November, if anyone would be up for that, either to take part or even if you want to join me as a co-host. I thought about November because November's when Scottish Book Week is. I thought that would be nice to tie in with that, quite fitting. And November's a good month for reading. Um, you guys know I'm a geek for Scottish authors and books set in Scotland. And despite the lack of accent, I actually am Scottish and I do live here. So I thought, why not? I looked, there used to be a Scottish readathon, but it hasn't happened for a few years. So yeah, I feel like someone should pick up that mantle. Is it a bit presumptuous to think it should be me? Maybe, but I just thought, you know, I've never done anything big on my channel before, so a readathon might be fun. And I actually also want to do my own tag video this year. I've written the questions. I'm hoping to get it up probably in April, and yes, it has a Scottish theme as well. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. It's a bit nerve-wracking putting myself out there. Maybe no one will do my tag, but fuck it, let's do it. Number 10 is what has been an unexpected surprise about being on Booktube, and it's the community. Before I started making videos, I did watch Booktube, but it was really only big visible booktubers that I watched, to the point where it was like, oh, I could never do that. They seemed so untouchable, and like they got so many comments that I doubt they even recognized me as someone who was regularly watching and replying to their videos. So it felt very removed. But then I found smaller booktubers, sadly most of whom from back then, they don't make videos anymore. But I got a bit more of a sense of there being a human being behind the channel, if that makes sense. And you know, since I've joined in, I've met so many fascinating and wonderful people. I think I said last year something about how like reading is it's such a solo thing, but Booktube makes it seem more like a team sport. I hate sport, but this is the sort of team that I'm happy to be a small part of. Though having said that, it can at times feel a bit echo chambery, because often it's only booktubers commenting and watching other booktubers. And so I want to say to anyone, you know, if you don't have a channel, please don't feel like you can't join in the comments and the community or whatever. You don't need to be a booktuber to be in the Booktube community. Just say hi. I mean, really, if you watch Booktube, you're a booktuber. I think you don't necessarily have to be making videos. And I wouldn't want anyone to think that it was like this exclusive club that only people who made videos could be part of. If you're watching and you're enjoying, then please jump on in and say hi. Number 11 is your thoughts on equipment. What has been the most useful piece of equipment that you've bought? And honestly, I have to say it's my editing software. I film on my phone. I'm often awful at lighting. So I mean, my lights are, they're fine, but I wouldn't say they're the best thing. And I bought a microphone, but I've literally never used it because I don't understand how to make it work. But taking the time to edit my videos is what makes me feel like they're okay to see the light of day. So cutting out the waffle or the pauses, adding book covers, music to vlogs, all that sort of jazz. If I just posted the raw footage, it'd be a hot mess. I know there are some people who do like a one and done approach and they do it really well, but I'm definitely not one of them. I have quite a weak voice. I'm constantly having to clear my throat, so be thankful that you don't have to sit through that. The software that I use, it's Filmora by Wondershare. It's pretty cheap. It's not that hard to use because I don't do anything like fancy schmancy with it. Yeah, editing takes a while, but I think it's worth it. Number 12 is what advice would you give to someone who is thinking about starting YouTube, or I guess a booktube channel? And just do it. Just turn on your camera, point it at your face and go for it. If you're embarrassed, then just do what I did. Don't tell anyone in your real life that you're doing it. You know, that way, if it's good and you add tags, and you post consistently and you get to know other creators, and people will find you. And if it's really bad, no one's going to watch it anyway. So, you know, you haven't lost anything. At least you gave it a go. If you do start a channel, I would recommend doing the Booktube newbie tag once you've kind of found your stride after a few videos, because it really does help people to find your channel. And definitely jump into the comments on other channels, not to ask them to watch you, but if you build genuine connections in time, they will lead to people checking you out. And, you know, above all, be yourself. Don't put on an act, don't put on an accent, don't change what you're reading, just you do you, boo. Number 13 is tag someone whose anniversary is coming up. And like, I had to look up when my own anniversary was. I don't know when other people's are coming up. I think Ange's channel is just a bit older than mine, and I don't think she's done this one. And Amy too, because I know that Simon started his channel probably about maybe this time last year. So technically your channel's birthdays must be coming up. But if anyone recently has or soon will be having a Booktube birthday, then feel free to celebrate by doing this tag, and definitely let me know, because I would love to watch your video. And that's it. That's all the questions. I've done this before the plumbers have come back. Amazing. They don't think they're doing a new bathroom in some psycho's house. So yeah, just if you've subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you watched, thanks for watching. And here is to year 3 on Booktube. Let's hope it's a good one. Here's to year 3 on the BT. I can't believe I just said that.